So we're now filming.
Okay.
And now 20 kilometers long, but what some people don't appreciate is that we're starting off aiming at the Grand Prix track that they use currently, and that they'll be using I think it's in 3 weeks time.
Okay.
So we're aiming in that direction, but that used to be the Südschleife, which was 8 kilometers long. So I'm going to let this guy go because he's all puffed up. So it was, you know, something like 28 kilometers long in the old days. So this is the end of the long straight. So you've put in a lot of fast mileage along there, and so it makes this part a bit strange because you've got rush on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They parachute rush when you're about to hit the ground. So it's quite difficult to get your eye in on those first few turns for what's coming up next. Now, so you can see the Grand Prix track here on our left. Now we're dropping down the hill to Hatzenbach, which is, Hatzenbach is a term for one corner, but I sort of call the whole thing Hatzenbach. So this is the actual Hatzenbach corner. Everything comfortable?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Cool. And then this one, I always forget the name of this one, but it's very slippery. Hokkaiken, that's it. Very slippery in the wet. Now we're dropping down, and if you log on to YouTube and put in Manfred Winkelhock Flugplatz, you'll see him taking off here. Although this corner isn't Flugplatz, it's actually these corners shortly after. And now I count 1 curb, 2 curbs. Some of them forget that you only overtake on the left side. 3 curbs, and now we're up to Schweidenkreuz, which you can spin the wheels up in these over there. Now I'm trying to brake gently because I don't want to. Arenberg, which drops downhill. Now in 1964, John Surtees' Ferrari Formula 1 car was geared to do 165 miles an hour down here in the dip. Can you imagine that in an old F1 car? Right, and this is Adenau Forest or Adenau Forst. There's a lot of spectators here because a lot of people have little vans there. Coming up to Metzgerfeld.
It's amazing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing.
We were all talking earlier and saying, look, you know, this is when you know you're lucky when you're on a job and you're driving around the Nurburgring. Yellow flag. Oh, that's good. Now, Kallenard. This one, real late turn. Because now we're dropping down the hill to Adenau Bridge. So in there, this is a famous one because you miss the first apex. It's miss, hit, miss, do you see? And then braking early for Viersiefen, because this is so steep downhill that you have to brake ridiculously early. On the way back up the hill, the other side, you'll see that there's corners where we don't really brake that much because we're going uphill so steep, even with something of this. Right, this is a dodgy part because they join here, so you have to go gently. You see, this is really steep. 76. He's turning his Ferrari F1 car into this one. Something breaks and he hits that barrier, and that's where he did all his damage. This is Bergwerk. Another nice late turn in. And up here, it's all again, it's late turns, but I just try and keep it nice and smooth because I don't want to be, because over these bumps you can actually get air and get a little bit uncomfortable. Are you enjoying it? It's wonderful, isn't it? And it's great that they still allow it, because it's almost a blast from the past in terms of health and safety, do you know what I mean? You see there? We weren't quite straight when we went over the bumps, so we're a bit squiffy. Now, we're coming up to the most famous corner, which is the Carousel. The Caracciolo Carousel, because this is a drain.
Oh, right.
And in the 30s he thought, well, it looks like it'd be quicker through the drain, and hence so does everyone else use it. And you see now I'm just tickling the brakes, although we're only going gently. But if I brake too hard, you destroy your rhythm. Now we're coming up to Whipperman, which is again a very famous part of the track. And if they're famous, it means people have accidents there. And you can see why there. And then this is really interesting to see how different people go through. See, I didn't use any of the road, and now I'm right out wide. I'm missing all the apexes, but look why I did it, because now I'm nice and straight. And now it gets tricky again, because the biggest thing people get wrong round here is turning in too early. Now this is Flansgarten. That's where the F1 cars used to take off. And now this one, I always struggle with this. Now, nice and gently and straight, because that is a drop. Clearly the F1 cars used to take off there as well. Now you can see the scenery disappearing.
Yep.
And that means you can get your foot down. Zur Schwalbenschwanz. Nice late turns. You see I'm keeping it nice and smooth, or trying to.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mini carousel, so you can actually go in a bit quicker because it whips you round, but if you come out early you're out of the cork like a champagne cork. I'm braking earlier now because I don't want the brakes to... This is another one, I seem to turn in about 3 days later than everyone else, but if you're coming out onto a straighter, then obviously that's good. You've done it.
Absolutely superb.
Your first lap of the
Thank
Nurburgring.
you very, very much.
My
That was
pleasure.
Amazing.
Isn't it a wonderful place?
Absolutely amazing.
And you've got the weather for it too, because that's unusual. Isn't it amazing? What about the car?
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh my god.
It's stunning. It's got so much power. I don't think I used full power once,
Really?
honestly.
That is. I've had a grin on my face all the way around.
Well, you were on camera with it, so.
Oh my
Mega.
God. That was absolutely phenomenal.
Good. Trying not to brake. Just to give them a bit of a holiday before the next lap. Now.
Thank you very, very much for
My
that.